$1 a gallon. It's a price many motorists thought they would never see again. But at least here in the valley, prices are starting to reach those levels.
I'm surprised and I'm pleased.
Now, why do you say that?
Because times are hard for all of us, and my gas money has to go as far as possible.
But here in the valley, prices have fallen dramatically. A spokesman for the Arizona Petroleum Retailers Association says we have perhaps the lowest gas prices in the country. And why?
Arizona is a dumping ground for gasoline from the major oil companies because they don't want to destroy their market on the West Coast where there's a big market. So the consumer here benefits from that.
Well, I saved 25 cents, I think, from what it was before in summertime.
You know, everything's very competitive right now, even on the oil market, and I think we're seeing it. We're seeing it on the prices on the pump.
Today's gas prices seem even more appealing when you consider that while these prices have been falling, inflation has been rising. The AAA says the statewide average cost for regular self-serve gas last Christmas season was $1.24 a gallon. This year it averages $1.15 statewide and is obviously lower in the valley. That's a 7.5% drop in price over last year. But when you figure in the annual inflation rate of 5.1%, the real decrease in gasoline costs has been over 12%. So where do we go from here?
I've been doing a survey this morning on the wholesale costs, and prices fell a little again last week, so who knows? I don't know. We're at the whim of the major oil companies whether the price goes up or down, and right now it's very fortunate the price has been going down. That could turn around at any moment and start back up.
But for now, Crosby admits the trend is down, even though we're hitting the $1 a gallon barrier. And that's just fine with those filling up at the pump.
The lower it gets, the better.
Ron Hoon, TV 10 News.
It's 8:41 in the morning, and a Southwest Airlines jet full of passengers has arrived at Sky Harbor Airport. What happens in the next 10 minutes is unmatched by any other airline.
Within a 10-minute period, we're able to enplane and deplane all the passengers, to fuel the aircraft, to do the provisioning, and to have the aircraft on its way. It's the equivalent of having 2 or 3 more airplanes in our fleet if we did not have a 10-minute turnaround.
Our flight left the gate at 8:52, an 11-minute turnaround, but about 20 minutes faster than the average major airline.
Have a good trip. We'll board through the corner door. Thank you.
Southwest Airlines is doing something today that most airlines are not, making money. While other carriers are languishing in record losses, Southwest has made just over $13 million since the first of the year.
We've taken a lot of people who used to drive and put them in the air, people who've never flown before. We've created a market of new travelers who've enjoyed the low fares, and with the large number of people we have on the airplane and our attention to cost efficiencies and productivity, those things together have resulted in a profit.
Southwest saves money by flying a smaller, more fuel-efficient aircraft, the 737. Southwest's entire fleet is under 2 years old, which has helped to keep down maintenance costs.
Another way Southwest saves money is by not serving any meals. A drink and a packet of peanuts is all that is offered the hungry traveler. But Southwest officials say that most of their customers don't mind the lack of food. They find the lower ticket prices much more palatable.
I'm a business traveler and I have to travel to Albuquerque, El Paso, and San Diego. And the price is right. For $100 round trip to either of those cities is very important to me because I'm a travel budget.
We do a lot of traveling in my company, and we usually go this airlines because of the price of the flight.
They are always on time, and when they take off when they're supposed to take off.
Southwest Airlines has flourished under deregulation. Once operating just within Texas, Southwest now flies to 18 cities in 8 states. Despite the current slump in the aviation industry, Southwest officials believe deregulation and free enterprise can work.
Well, it's worked in other industries. We all have little calculators now that we pay less for than when they were originally introduced. And I think the marketplace will shake down, and cost will always be a factor. You've got to keep your cost in line with the prices that you're charging to be able to realize the kind of profits you need.
Peter Van Sant, Cool News 10.
Nice to meet you. Here's my application. Okay, then please have a seat. Thanks. My best.
It's one of life's most frightening experiences, the interview for that first job. But this interview is just for practice and for playback. Once a month, the Tempe Youth Center offers a workshop for young job hunters. It includes interviews for imaginary jobs that give young people an idea of what to expect when the interview is for real.
Give me a reason why I should hire you instead of the others that are applying.
You need a hard worker, and I like to work harder.
Okay, that's good.
I learned a lot. I learned a lot about filling out applications and resumes, and also in my interview, we worked on interviewing skills, so that was helpful.
The interviews are videotaped, and afterwards, students take a look at how they look. The workshop began when the city of Tempe decided its youth employment program should not only find jobs for young people, it should also help young people find jobs themselves.
And I guess the more prepared kids are when they go out, and the more information they have, and the more knowledge they have, and the more confidence they have, we feel they've got a lot better chance of keeping the job and getting that job.
Earlier this month, residents in Northeast Phoenix demonstrated against the proposed office and retail complex to be built on 40 acres across from the Point Resort. The complex was proposed by American Continental developers. American Continental had requested a zoning change from residential to commercial, which would allow them to build the complex. The Phoenix Planning Department had recommended to the City Council that the complex not be built because of traffic and employment distribution problems. But after several hearings, the Phoenix City Council this morning praised the project and voted unanimously for it.
I just want to say that I think this is a magnificent addition to our city. I think Mr. Keating, Mr. Longstreth, and American Continental Corporation are to be congratulated for having the kind of faith in our city.
Yes, I think that this is an extremely high-quality development that is proposed.
The winners and losers had different views.
Oh, we're just delighted, and we're sure that, like our homes, this will be a quality commercial development.
While the city of Phoenix was sleeping, we created a new village core. The mayor seems to think that we can take care of the transportation problems later.
Marcus Wright, Cool News 10.
Today, Park Central attracts 100,000 shoppers a week. It's nestled in the downtown financial district, surrounded by skyscrapers and other development. But before ground was broken in 1955, there was a dairy farm and creamery on the site, hundreds of acres of open land. As you look at this photo taken towards South Mountain, the last traffic light on Central was at Thomas Road.
It was developed more or less up to Thomas, and the rest was open land. Had some spotty development like the racetrack. Generally a farming community.
Ralph Bergbacher and his brother Albert built Park Central. Bergbacher says he came here from California intending to retire. Instead, he created what he says is probably the third or fourth shopping center in the country.
I knew the shopping center business, which was in its infancy, all over the country at that time, and I watched it, and I figured that eventually it would be an excellent location.
He was right. The original complex with 3 major stores, Goldwater's, Walgreens, and Newberry's, soon underwent 3 large additions. Diamonds was added in the early 60s, its size later doubled, and Penny's came on board by 1965. Today, like consumers across the country, Valley residents take for granted the convenience of many such one-stop shopping complexes, which also eliminate the problem of finding a parking space on city streets.
Computer time sharing, the latest innovation that helps people get hands-on training without forking out a lot of money to have costly computers in their homes. The concept, called CompuShare, is a store where you can buy computer time, working time or learning time for a relatively inexpensive fee. $149 a year for an individual, $169 for a family. Owner and founder Randall Jones says being in the computer business for 6 years and watching its phenomenal growth convinced him that the time was ripe for time sharing.
And I just discovered that these small computers have tremendous power, and it's something that, it's an age of the future, and it's something that everyone is going to have to learn to interface with.
Kurt Larson, a computer science major in college, owns his own system, but joined CompuShare to stay current on all the latest machines.
They have very sophisticated software packages here that each in themselves would cost me more than my membership cost. And I can drive a mile and a half, come down here and use the software, learn from it. It's an educational investment for me, and I think a good one.
For many people, learning the language of the computer is a way to save time and money, and it can also be a way to streamline business.
It's helpful to my clients also. Instead of having to go out and buy a computer, buying the programs and sitting for 3 months not getting anything, they can come in here and start working on one, find out, get all their files up to date.
Jones says the response has been good so far. Housewives, children, all ages are taking advantage of learning about computers before going and buying one themselves.
I think by 1985 to 87, 20 to 30 million people will have had to have this hands-on experience in order to go forward in personal computing.
Deborah Pyburn, Cool News 10.
For a lot of us, Father's Day means a trip to the shopping center and looking, and more looking. But at the Metro Center Goldwaters today, shopping for Dad took on a new look. That's right, it's a computer that not only tells you what to buy for Dad, but it even tells you what kind of a guy Dad is.
Well, we put them into 5 basic categories: the status dad, active dad, debonair, spectator, and at-home dad.
It's an easy process. You fill out a card that asks Dad's preferences, including the kind of car he wants.
And his driving desire?
Mercedes.
Mercedes.
At least one guy learned a little more about his father than he expected.
I didn't know he was interested in fashions.
So it's nice to know, for those of us who aren't the best of shoppers, the answer, like so many others these days, is all in the computer. Janine LeCure, Cool News 10.
For some enjoying the holiday, it was the perfect combination. Plenty of music, sun, and of course, water. Tubers filling the Verde River as the day went on made the most of their day off.
Partying, having a good time.
Day off, man. First day off in a long time.
Drink some beers and catch the race.
Park officials here at Saguaro Lake say yesterday's crowds were record-breaking, but today they are smaller as people begin heading home after a long weekend.
Actually, we filled the capacity Friday, Saturday, and this morning, but we did not actually physically have to close the lake.
The Saguaro Lake beach area was closed most of the day, but for the people who did get in, there was plenty to do.
We're going swimming and we're going to be in a boat, and we get to go way out there.
We went up to the lake, and the lake was really packed, so we decided to come down here and catch some sun. They closed it off, though. We couldn't get in.
Officials say Memorial Day wasn't as busy as Easter weekend, but for the first 3-day weekend of the summer, things went well. Officials say no drownings or major boating accidents occurred. Deborah Pyburn, Cool News 10.